Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? So today we're going to be talking about footsies, and kind of the whole purpose of this video is I got a question from somebody in my Discord, and I thought it was a really good question because it's something that comes up a lot for like intermediate or high intermediate players. But here's the question I got, and the person said, I have a broad question. I'm trying to improve my neutral game. I find I'm getting hit all the time, or I'm pressing in situations where I think I should, but really shouldn't. It feels like all my attacks whiff and all my opponents land, so all my opponents' attacks land, and that I'm doing something fundamentally wrong or thinking about neutral wrong. Is the real way to learn and improve at it to sit in training with all the opponents and press their buttons to try and track their ranges and find your matching whiff punish button like a puzzle piece, and then be able to recognize that in the moment? I find that so much, information to keep in my head with the whole cast. It's almost an intimidating amount of information. Then for reference, I'm a low MR player, hover around 1300 to 1400. There are of course 100 other things I can do and work on, but my neutral feels like my weakest, so I've been trying to focus on that more and find it hard to lab because it's so character specific and spacing specific. So first things first, if you're kind of an intermediate player or someone kind of struggling, like we're like not able to break 1400, I think focusing on like every single attack on the game and like learning how to whiff punish every single thing is just like an exercise in self-torture. You don't want to do that. What I think is the most important thing to think about when thinking about whiff punishing and spacing are two things. Alright, so number one, first thing you want to think of is what are the moves your opponents are going to be using the most to poke at you? Like what are their longest range moves? So someone like Manon here, right? Right off the top of your head, what's Manon probably going to be pushing in neutral? If you said standing medium punch and standing heavy kick, congrats, you're right, because those are the two pokes that she's probably going to be using the most. If you're completely new to the game, there's no way you're going to know which of those moves are the ones your opponents are going to be using until you've played a bit more and you kind of understand what moves characters generally want to use. So a part of it comes from experience, but once you've got that experience down and you know what buttons they want to use, what you want to do is try to find one or two of your own buttons that can try to cover as many options as possible. One thing I want you to think about is understanding your opponent's range and what happens when you walk into it. So you kind of want to test your opponent. So you kind of want to like know what their general range is, try to walk into it, and then just block and see what your opponent does. If you can just walk in and block, you'll be able to kind of get a gauge for when your opponent wants to push buttons. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me see if one of my buddies from Discord is available. Alright, so I think one of the best ways to get better at footsies and neutral is running a custom room with a friend or like a training partner. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to play in a really specific way. And the first thing I'm going to do in the first round, I'm going to try to like walk up into my opponent's space and try to get a general sense for when they're pushing buttons. And don't worry about winning, don't worry about losing, just try to see when your opponent push buttons. The social aspect makes it a lot more fun, absolutely. None of your friends play? Well, if none of your friends play, you can just join a Discord. So I'm fighting against Akuma, so in this matchup, what are some key moves I'm looking for? I'm looking for standing heavy punch, forward heavy punch, crouching medium kick, and crouching medium punch. So all I want to do is I kind of want to get a sense for when my opponent pushes buttons. So he's letting me kind of walk into his space, and he's not pushing too much. There we go. So yeah, I'm kind of standing here. I'm noticing he's trying to walk forward when I'm kind of walking back here. So there. Yeah, I'm not worrying about combos. I'm not worrying about stuff. I'm just like really hyper-focusing on footsies here. See? So I kind of got an idea from when he's moving in. There, I pushed too late. I let him get too close for my standing heavy punch. So again here, I'm not worrying too much about making big reads. There, you saw my drive rush, he stopped it. So at that close range, he's doing that kind of stuff. So again, I'm just gonna try to focus a little bit more, try to use what I learned the first time. Notice he was walking back after that, so I'm kind of going for something like this. I used some drive meter, so I kind of want to... see there, I whiffed. I got whiff punished. Alright, so I'm noticing after I push my standing heavy punch, he pushes the standing heavy punch. There, he pushed it before me. Am I dead from this? Okay, whatever, I need to make the comeback, so I'm just gonna spend it. It's Akuma, he's got low health. Put him in a burnout. Nice. There we go. Okay, so this time, instead of pushing lots of buttons, I just want to stop him and try to like whiff punish myself. There we go. There, I whiffed, I got punished. Oh, I couldn't react. Alright, now I'm burnout, so again, I just want to figure out when he's pushing buttons. I don't mind getting thrown here. That was supposed to be DP, I messed up my thing. It's really hard to talk and do this at the same time. That's fine. There you go, see? I told you before, last time I noticed when I did standing heavy punch, he liked to walk in and then do his own standing heavy punch. So I did that, I just waited a split second, then I just let the crouching heavy punch rip. So let's see if I can push him to the corner this time and try to remember what's going on. Nice whiff punish. I was off with my standing light kick, so I deserve to get whiff punish for that. I remember last time I said he walks forward after I do my standing heavy punch. This time he jumped, so... You remember he said walks forward aggressively out of the corner? Ah, that pulled his hurt box back. The idea was kind of right, but I lost there, so okay. Yeah, I waited for the whip punish, I got it. Okay, again, let's keep him in the corner. I'm whiffing too much though, I got a little bit too antsy there. Ah, see, I walked backwards. That was my mistake. I wasn't able to pick up on what I was trying to do. I did a move, I walked backwards, I was out of range. So, let's go like this. Every EV, if you don't mind, I'm going to get off for a bit. I'm trying to demonstrate something here. And we're going to use this new feature in training mode that I absolutely love, open recent replays. And we're going to go to that last match. Alright, so this is going to take us to replay review step 1. Find your mistakes. And the mistakes I want you to start with are the ones that you remember. And one that really sticks out in my mind from that whole set. Again, I was talking to make this video, and it's pretty tricky to talk and play and remember these things at the same time. So there's a ton of other things I probably missed. But there is this exchange right over here. I'm trying to keep him in the corner. I said here my goal was to keep my opponent in the corner and not let Akuma walk forward easily out of the corner. So I did standing heavy punch here. I'm only -2. Then I walk back. I whiffed this. So that was bad. I whiffed that. I was expecting a walk forward. It didn't come. Then I did this. I whiffed that. Okay, and then here it is. So I get the knockdown. I do the drive rush. Okay, this puts me +1. I did a jab to stay safe. Then what did I do? I walked backwards, but I got clipped. Let's watch that again. Now let's see what I should have done instead. Had I done standing light punch instead, the pushback would have pushed me far enough away to get out of that auto-timed crouching medium kick. So had I gone for this instead, I could have won. So what we're going to do is, now that we figured this out, you're going to see if you'll lose to anything else. So you're going to go to training mode, and you're going to load up against the exact same character, and you're going to try to recreate that situation. If you contest it with light punch, it would trade, so what's the best option? Well, let's find out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to find out. So step 1 is find your mistakes. Then step 2, check your options from a single exchange. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do this from a drive rush, and I'm just going to set Akuma to do a crouching light punch. There we go. Here's the exchange. So he was delaying his button a little bit, and that means if he delays it here, I can't walk back out of it. So I was able to recreate that situation that we saw in the replay in training mode. So now we're going to go like this. And if he delays it by just a little bit, he gets counter it. Okay, so what if he doesn't do a delayed crouching medium kick? What if he does an immediate light punch? Okay, we trade, but I'm left at +2, so it's not the worst thing for me. We would have traded, and then I'm left at +2. So even if he pushes a crouching jab, a 4-frame there, not the worst thing. Still my turn. I'm still +2, just out of poke range though, so it's not the greatest thing. But I wouldn't have lost with the amount of health that I had. Okay, so let's say he does crouching medium kick. How can I beat this? There we go. If I know they're doing delayed buttons, I can do this. Or there we go. I'm only -1 here. That crouching medium kick is going to be 8 frames. But my crouching medium punch is 7 frames and I'm -1 here. So let's see what I can do. There we go. So if I know my opponent is always going to be doing something like that afterwards, and I don't have enough range to walk back out, instead of trying to walk out and use footsies, I can just preemptively try to stop their button that they're going to use to stop me from walking backwards. Right? So here in this kind of situation, I know that I can't walk out backwards. So my choice is either block. So let me go through my choices. This makes sense. My choice is block. Attempt the perfect parry to steal my turn back. Right? Because if I'm right on this, I get pretty good reward. Or try to stuff their button that they're using to stop me from walking backwards. Then my other option is to go for a button that will allow me to walk backwards. In this kind of situation, the spacing's a little bit off, so I'm not getting it, which tells me that this isn't that consistent, so I'm probably not going to go for this. So that's basically what you would want to do. Figure that out, then you can use that for footsies. So I think the most important thing for you to think of is what are your options and also what are your opponent's habits. Walk into their range, block, see what they do. Are they pushing buttons? Are they not pushing buttons? If they're not pushing buttons, you can just keep on walking in and taking your pressure, which will eventually get you into range of your good buttons, then you can start poking. But if they are pushing tons of buttons, then you might want to just walk into the tip of their range of their button, walk out, and then try to commit to whiff punishing it if you can. Alright guys, so footsies are a really broad, really difficult topic to do, but I think what I want you to take away from this video is spending some time in either casual match, custom room with a friend or someone from Discord, and really just spend some time getting comfortable with what it feels like to walk forward and block into your opponent. Try to get a feel for their timings and then try to set things up that way. And then once you get comfortable with that, you'll be better at figuring out your opponent's rhythms and timings. And then when you go to rank match next time, you'll be able to apply what you learned faster next time. And hopefully it'll develop your like whiff punishing and also just like timing rhythm development skills. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.